what's up you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So since it is now the beginning of November, it means that Inktober, Witchtober, Drawtober, whatever you did is now over. And at the end of each challenge like this, I always like to go back and kind of do a video where I kind of showcase, you know, all the ones I did and show you guys like why I made decisions, you know, what inspired certain things around the prompts. And I wanted to go a little bit more in depth for this one because I did decide to do, I think I didn't even do the 31st. That was kind of like a bonus. I ended up only doing about 4 illustrations for Drawtober. So I thought, you know, it'd be nice to go a little bit more in depth about each of them. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. For this month, I believe I did, I'm not sure what, I think it was just regular Witchtober is what I did. And the prompts were day 6, Halloween, 13, dark, 20, fox, 27, plant. So I did also intend to do, like I said, the 31st and do a moth, but that ended up not happening because I ran into a couple of issues regarding that. I just had like a lot more on my plate around that specific date than I had for the rest of the month. So I didn't end up doing anything with that. I also had a couple of other options that I was planning on doing. I kind of went and grabbed a bunch of different prompt lists that I liked, and then I picked a specific day of the week. I think for me it was Wednesdays is when I wanted to do Drawtobers, so I just picked the Wednesday prompts for the dates obviously that fell on Wednesdays, and then whichever one kind of like I was drawn to the most is the one that I decided to do. So I ended up going with, like I said, Witchtober. I liked these other two, but I was just immediately inspired by the ones that were in Witchtober. So getting into the first ones, we have day 1. Actually, I think that's the line art. I have a couple of different versions because for Drawtober, similarly to what I did for Inktober last year, I kind of just wanted to plan out these sketches ahead of time and do them digitally and then print them out onto my sketchbook paper and then illustrate them traditionally. I've also just been really liking doing traditional drawings that way anyway, because it saves me time when I'm doing things like line art and stuff like that. I just feel like I have more control digitally than I do with pencil and stuff like that. I'm using it as kind of a crutch, but I've really been liking the style. It kind of like gives it a sort of mixed media effect. So that is what I decided to do for this month. So the first prompt was Halloween, and when I was looking for sketches for this one, I was kind of lost because, or not sketches, looking for ideas. I was kind of lost because Halloween is such a broad topic. You know, there's so many things that encompass what is Halloween, but I saw a picture of like this guy that was holding up a pumpkin to his face, and I was like, that's so cute. What if I did like a little pumpkin head? So yeah, I made a little pumpkin head witch. I just put her in like this little bodysuit because I thought it not quite like pin-up-y, but like sort of that kind of aesthetic, like I don't really know how to describe it. If you think of like those 50s pinups with the like the full body covered like swimsuit stuff kind of thing. It's not a swimsuit, but it's got that vibe. So I was kind of going for something like that. I knew I wanted to do stripy tights because that's like why can't I speak? Classic witch, not quatchage. I don't know what that is. Classic witch attire as far as, you know, media and stuff goes. So I did definitely want to do some stripy tights there, and then I just threw some little ghosties in the background because I thought they were super cute. And then of course, like you guys saw, I went in and I cleaned it up and landed on this design, and then I printed it obviously with my Copics. Color scheme was another thing that I was kind of struggling with. I ended up going for classic, you know, like orange, green, black, purple, but I wasn't too sure about the orange, but I kind of like how it carries through. I was worried that it was going to be kind of cheesy, but I do like the end result. I also, after posting this, had somebody request a print version of this, but with a little bit of darker colors. So I ended up making this, which I really, really like, and I think I might have it as a print on my shop. It's going to be a little bit larger of a print than I normally do. This is an 8x10. I normally do like 4x6. So if you guys are interested in seeing this up on the shop, it is not currently up on there, but if it is something that you guys want to see, definitely let me know, because I totally put that up as a listing, because I think she's really, really cute. So going into day 2, we have the sketch right here, and this was part of the sketch with me. So you guys saw kind of the initial I guess idea for this character, and then I went in and I did a second sketch somewhere. Yeah, I did this one that was a little bit more of a refined version because for some reason I just wasn't loving the face and everything on the initial sketch for it, so I just went back and I tightened it up, and we have this little version, which I think she's super cute. She's missing her book, obviously, that I will add in later. Forgot to mention, this is day not 2. It is technically day 13. So this is the prompt dark. So I wanted to do a kind of dark academia thing because that was just what immediately came to mind. It was really weird. It was like I was laying in bed. I think I had just woken up, or I was just falling asleep. And I was like, wait, dark academia. I love that aesthetic. I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that was the plan with her. She doesn't have her little book in a lot of these sketches, but eventually I managed to get her there, and she was quite the handful when it came to coloring her, because I mentioned in the Instagram post, and if you're not already following me on Instagram, you should be following me on Instagram because I'm currently doing Qvember right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, definitely go do that. But I struggled with her so much because I had, as you guys will see right here, kind of, obviously her skin's not accurate, but I didn't really need to color in the skin because I already have kind of like my tried and true couple of different marker combos, so I didn't really need to test what color her skin was going to be because I already knew, like I could see it in my head what options I had. But for everything else, I was like, okay, I need to plan everything else, and I wanted like this really nice, kind of like beigey, almost gray tan for her outfit, and it wasn't happening. I was looking through all sorts of markers. I have like markers that you would think, like this dull ivory, you would think that's the right color. It's so light. It looks like it would be correct, but it's not. And then everything was either like too warm or too cool or too dark, too light. You know, I couldn't find the perfect combo, and she ended up being a little bit darker than I intended her to be. In a lot of different ways. Her eyes were supposed to be a lot darker, her clothes were supposed to be a lot darker, because, you know, it is dark academia, but, you know, some stuff was too dark and some stuff was too light. Like this bit around here was not as light as I wanted it to be, and then there's just a lot of wrong tones and stuff in there, so I was kind of disappointed. But you guys actually did end up liking this a lot on Instagram. I had a couple of people saying they really liked the texture because I tried to go in with a pencil and kind of almost get the right tone that way, and it's still definitely not exactly what I was looking for, but it is not the worst. I still really like her, you know, her design, her aesthetic and stuff like that. I think I wish I would have done some more background elements for her apart from the magic. I do really like the magic. I think it came out really cool. I used this technique again later for the last illustration, but I think it looks like really shiny, sparkly kind of magic, which I think is really cute. But yeah, that was kind of the only accompanying element for her, and I wish I would have maybe kind of thrown something else in there. Working with Copics is kind of hard in that aspect because you definitely don't want to use a whole marker putting down like a solid color for her background. And normally what I used to do in the past is I would do kind of watercolor washes in the background, but I lost my brush pens and I don't really know how to use regular brushes for watercolor. I'm so attached to my aqua pens, so I'm definitely gonna have to find one of those. I think I have one. There's this one, but for some reason for a long time it just like was not squeezing out any water. It just was like getting trapped in the nib. I think it works now, but I conveniently could not find this one or get it to work until after Witchtober was over, so that's nice. Overall, I like her. I think color-wise, I would have liked her to be a little bit different. But again, not the end of the story. It's not a tragedy like it could have been. So the next one we have is day whatever, day 20. So this is Fox. It literally says it right there. How did I do that? Anyways, so this is day 20. And as you can see, when comparing to the actual final illustration. All of this rainbow is not supposed to be there. It initially was just supposed to be a normal fox. I had a lovely color scheme in mind, and you can see I kind of stayed true to that initial color scheme right here that I have in the corner, but a lot of things changed when it came to actually working on this piece, because I started her skin and I realized, like, this is not the right color. It's very gray, it's very desaturated, and also I don't have the right colors to shade it. And I also, like I said in filming this video, had issues with it filming. I like recorded this because this is a YouTube video, fun fact. I recorded this and it didn't record, and then I recorded it again and it crashed halfway through. It was ridiculous. I had so many issues when it came to this illustration. And then color wise as well, like I mentioned, her skin was wrong, and then I went in with her jacket. I really had to finesse the little jacket, dress, whatever you want to call it, because initially I'd planned for it to be this color. The base color is that color, but the shading, I was just gonna go in with the marker that accompanies it. So this is BG75, I think, this like base color. However, my bronze marker, which is near brand new, have almost never used, looks like this, which is, of course, unassuming at first, until you try to draw and you realize it's rock freaking solid. It's literally hard. It is chunky. I don't know if I'm gonna, here, let me try to put it up against the white. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but it do be chunky, and I don't know why it's doing that. Only my blues are doing that. I have like a random bunch of markers that all of a sudden, for no reason, because I store them horizontally like you're supposed to, away from any cold, any hot. They're room temp. Some of them just were chunky all of a sudden, and I noticed it usually 99% of the time happens to my blues or my earth tones. Mostly my blues, every once in a while my earth tones, but mostly my blues. If anybody knows why that's happening, please tell me, because it's driving me insane. I'm tired of grabbing a blue marker and it being chunky. It's really gross. So yeah. Anyways, so among those issues that I was having, I also had an issue with my printer all of a sudden, where it started printing things with this rainbow bit at the bottom. It's like as if the paper wasn't quite sat in there properly, even though I know it is, because I have these things that hold it in place. But somehow it's like either scooting around during the printing process, or something is occurring that is making it move and produce these rainbow stripes. So rather than printing it for a fourth time and trying to film it again, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work with the rainbow. It's meant to be magic anyway. He's her familiar. You know, I wanted to kind of, you know, maybe emphasize that magic aspect a little bit more, so I just made him made out of rainbows, and I think he's really cute. I've gotten a lot of compliments on him. I think if I was a good like creature designer, I would probably like illustrate him in some way, shape, or form, like make a little character sheet or something of him, because I do think he's adorable, but I'm so bad at drawing animals. I have such a hard time with those. But yeah, I definitely tried to embrace the rainbow, and I think it looks really good. There are some things I think maybe around her dress, especially around her sleeve, that I probably would have changed. I probably would have just made this solid instead of trying to put the rainbow there as well. And maybe I would have like gone with a darker blend of rainbows for her dress itself, just because it didn't have a nice transition like I would have liked it to. But overall, I do like her. She was a pain to get to where she is, but I think she turned out pretty great. So the last one that we have is day 27, and that is Plant. It's also one of my favorite illustrations just because it kind of accompanies all of my favorite things of this month, or this challenge in particular. So the day was planned, and I found like the cutest reference kind of like pose on Pinterest, and I was like, that is going to work like literally so perfectly. It looks like she has a wand. She didn't have one, but the way that she kind of was posed with like her arm held out, I was like, that literally is begging to have a wand in it. So I kind of tried to reference that a little bit with this piece, and then instead of like a wand, I gave her a twig because I thought that would be super cute. You know, she's supposed to be a plant witch, so I thought having her wand be just like a regular like branch would be kind of cute. I also wanted to make her have like really like scuffed up shoes and stuff like that, and I ended up actually in the final scuffing up her jacket and stuff a bit as well, and her socks and stuff like that. I just wanted it to make it look like, you know, she does kneel down in the dirt and do like gardening and stuff like that. And I also knew for a fact that I wanted to go with really, you know, like autumny tones. So like oranges, mustards, browns, greens, stuff like that. I did have a bit of a question when it came to her tones at the very end. I'm not sure where it is. I think I deleted those layers, but I had like a little bit of a, what is the word for this? I doubted myself, I guess. That's not what I was looking for, but I had messed with the layers a little bit on here and changed the hue and saturation because I was struggling. I knew, again, that I did not have the right browns for this piece for what I wanted to do with her outfit. So I had to kind of like play around with the hue and saturation sliders and see, you know, like what tones can I, you know, mush, what do I have? And it ended up creating something that was really pinky. And I was like, that is really cute. Now I'm torn because do I want to stick with my original plan or do I want to, you know, go for the pinks? I also kind of had a struggle when it came to like the placements of certain colors. I didn't know if I wanted to like have, you know, like a lighter red somewhere. I was like messing with reds here. It's just, everything was insane. I was like, how do I balance these colors? So that was part of the issue as well. But overall, I finally settled on this middle one here, and I did mess around with layering so much that I had to write down what colors were layered on top of which so that I could remember this color goes here, this color goes here, yada yada yada, and be able to create the same colors. I even had to double check down here, you can see where I was layering once again because I was like, is this actually that color combination? Those colors are so drastically different or very vibrant. I don't understand how they made brown when I used them, but they did, and I ended up with this piece, which I adore this piece. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the iPad if I can find the power button so you guys can see her. I love her so much. She's all my favorite fall colors. The only thing I would say is she is missing some red. I do love me some maroon tones, but I think it just would have been too much to include that in there. I tried to sneak it in on her lips and this little flower over here because, again, it's my favorite color. It's one of my favorite colors. I love it a lot, but it definitely, it was just too different. Not too different from the other colors, but too out of place. I would have had to put it in multiple other spots, and I just couldn't make it balance like that. So yeah, I just tried to poke it in there. I really love her jacket. I think the shading is a little bit off because despite mustard and I think it's Y28, this gold color, being right next to each other on the Copic color chart, I think they're intended to be, you know, the light and the shadow of each other, but this is just a little bit gray enough that it kind of like pushes back. You can kind of see around her arm and stuff here. You can see that it's definitely pushing the color back just a little bit, but I tried to go back over with the mustard color again, and you can really see that in her sleeve over here, and I think that kind of helps with that that bleeding that happened. But yeah, overall, I'm obsessed with her. I think she's really cute. She has a sneak of the rainbow down here again, which was frustrating, but I managed to fix it with just, you know, throwing some brown on top. It was meant to be a dirt mound anyway, so throwing a darker color on there really saved the day. I think it looks great. I also have like the little leaves, and I tried to do the magic technique again. I don't think it's as solid as with the previous, like the dark academia one. Like if I compare the two of them, I think the blending is a little bit more, you know, it's a bit more vibrant, and there's some more color there. I think I got a little bit kind of scared, I think, to add more orange, because I didn't want it to be like super orange. I wanted the orange in her hair to be the focus, so I kind of just put some dots here and there and followed the edges in a couple of different spots. I think I should have pushed it a little bit more, but overall I do really like this piece. So yeah, here are the final pieces for Witchtober. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it was a little scatterbrained. All of my unscripted videos do tend to be a little bit all over the place, but like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and maybe like this video, because it helps the big YouTube algorithm share my videos. So yeah, if you want to see more, definitely do all of that. And if you want to see even more, feel free to check out my Patreon. The link is down in the description, alongside all my other social media. I've got a ton of stuff on there, like early access to videos, physical rewards like stickers and prints, there's digital downloads, there's coloring pages, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. I'm also back to posting a little bit more frequently on Instagram now that Witchtober is Witchtober's been a thing for a while, but now that I'm doing that thing, I'm posting a little bit more frequently on there as well. So if any of that interests you, like I said, links are down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and speaking of thank yous, I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, Elise Thompson, Duran, Mandy, Schleeps, Created by Twins, and Kruhi. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for continuing to support me every single month. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.